Welcome back to my channel, Think CSEC. Today we'll be doing the CSEC Principles of Accounts, May June 2019, past paper 1. But if you're visiting the channel for the first time, go right ahead and click the like button, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification bell so that you are alerted when new videos are posted. So let us get right into it. Our first question says, a trader had an opening capital of $3,900 if his drawings were $900 and his closing capital was $4,860. What was his net profit? A, $900, B, $960, C, $1,860, or D, $3,000. So here we have our opening capital, $3,900. Then we're going to less drawings, $900 from that. So we're left with $3,000. And then we deduct that from the closing capital of $4,860. So $3,000 from that, we're left with $1,860. So our answer is C. Let's go on to question number 2. A company's rent expense account had an opening debit balance of $2,000. During the year, $6,000 was paid for rent. At the end of the year, there was a closing debit balance of $1,500 in the account. What was the rent expense recorded for the year? A, $6,000, B, $6,500, C, $7,500, or D, $9,500. So here we have our opening balance is $2,000. Then rent paid is $6,000. So when we add that together, we got a total of $8,000. Now our closing balance is $1,500. So we deduct $1,500 from $8,000. We're left with $6,500. So our answer is B. Let's go on to number 3. In a partnership, which of the following transaction is compulsory? A, paying of salaries, B, interest on capital, C, interest on drawings, D, sharing of profits or losses. So we know that it is what is compulsory in a partnership? D, sharing of profits or losses. Let's go on to number 4. Which of the following terms describes the exchange of goods and services? A, journal, B, transaction, C, balance sheet, D, trial balance. We know it is the transaction. So B would be our answer. Let's go on to number 5. Says, which of the following best describes the double entry system of accounting? A, a ledger account must have 2 sides. B, an account must be written twice in the ledger. Each transaction must be written in 2 subsidiary books. C, or D, each transaction must have a debit entry and a credit entry. We know double entry, our answer would be D. Each transaction must have a debit entry and a credit entry. So this is the one that best describes. Let's go on to number 6. Which of the following items are examples of current liabilities? 1, mortgages. 2, accounts payable. 3, accrued wages. Our answer options, is it A, 1 and 2 only, B, 1 and 3 only, C, 2 and 3 only, or D, 1, 2 and 3? Well, we know current liabilities. We know mortgages would be out. So we know any one of our answers that have 1 would be out. So automatically A and B would be out. Number 2, accounts payable. Yes, that's a current liabilities. Number 3, accrued wages. Yes. So our answer would be 2 and 3 only. So C would be our answer. And we know that our current liabilities are really liabilities that are due and payable within less than 1 year. So we know mortgages would be a long-term liability, not a current. So let's move on to 7. Which of the following is usually used to complete a general journal entry? A, narration. B, description of assets. C, description of liabilities. D, name of book to which entry must be posted. So we know it is A, narration. Narration is a description and explanation of the transaction that is recorded in the journal. So our answer would be A. Let's go on to number 8. The purpose of electronic clock cards is to record A, employees' skills, B, employees' attendance, C, jobs done by employees, or D, deductions from employees and wages. So we know clock cards is where you clock in. There's an electronic system, so it have to do with your time in and your time out at work, how many days you're present at work, and how many hours you worked. So we know it would be employees' attendance. B would be your answer. Let's go on to 9. The cash book is best used for recording A, goods sold for cash, B, goods returned for cash, C, goods purchased for cash, or D, cash receipts and cash payments. We know this one is very easy. The cash book is used for D, cash receipts and cash payments. So our answer is D. Let's go on to number 10. Item 10 refers to the following data which pertain to Tarisha Ali, an employee of a bank. Monthly salary $3,500, overtime $800. Income tax rate 25% on every dollar above $2,000. 30% on overtime earned. The question says the total income tax to be deducted from Tarisha Ali is A, $615, B, $740, C, $875, or D, $1,075. Well, here deduction. So let's look at our income tax rate. It says 25% on every dollar above $2,000. So therefore, we are going to have to find 25% of $3,000. So when we find 25% of $3,000, we got $875. Now it says 30% on overtime earned. So 30% of $800, we got $240. So we would have to deduct $240 from $800. So we're left with $260. So $260 take away $875, we're left with $615. There's another way that you could work that out. $615 would be our answer. Let's move on to number 11. A businessman offers a discount for prompt payment for goods purchased. Under which column in his 3-column cash book would this discount be entered? A, bank, B, cash, C, discount allowed, D, discount received. What would be our answer? We know it would be discount allowed. C, prompt payment for goods purchased. Item 12 refers to the following information which relates to Jim's salary. Net pay $1,900, tax $150, overtime pay $400, union dues $125, pension plan $25. What is the sum of money Jim receives as his gross salary? A, $2,000, B, $2,200, C, $2,300, or D, $2,400. So what we do, we add net pay plus the tax plus union dues plus pension plan. So $1,900 plus 150 plus 125 plus 25, we get $2,200. B would be our answer. Let's go on to number 30. Here it says, P. Ock has a manufacturing business. The cost of his raw materials is $1,900. Rates and rent total $2,000. And factory wages amount to $2,500. The number of units produced is 640. What is the cost of one unit? A, $4, B, $6, C, $10, D, $13. So we know that it says the cost of raw materials $1,900, rates and rent $2,000, and factory wages $2,000. So when we add all that together to find the total cost, it would be $6,400. Now, for us to know how many units that produce, we would divide $6,400 by 640, and the cost for one unit we got $10. So C would be our answer. Let's move on to 40. Control accounts are kept in order to assist management in A, locating errors, B, increasing profits, C, limiting drawings, or D, limiting expenditure. We know it is A, locating errors, because we know control account is an account which checks the arithmetic accuracy of the subsidiary ledgers. So A, locating errors, that's what it is kept in order to do. 15. The balance of an accounts payable account is entered in the balance sheet under the heading A, capital, B, fixed assets, C, current assets, D, current liabilities. We know it is D, current liabilities, accounts payable. Let's go into 16. How does an increase in bad debts affect a sole trader's financial statements? A, increases the net profit, B, decreases the net profit, C, increases the gross profit, or D, decreases the gross profit. We know it is B, decreases the net profit. That's how bad debts affect a sole trader's account statement. 17 says, a trader received an invoice for $4,000 less 25% trade discount. Subsequently, he returned 1/8 of the goods. What amount would be entered in his returns outwards account? A, $375, B, $400, C, $450, D, $500. So 25% trade discount of an invoice, so $4,000. So 25% of $4,000, we get $1,000. Now, when we deduct, it says it was discounted. So $1,000 from $4,000, we're left with $3,000. And it says he returned 1/8. So we have to find 1/8 of $3,000. We get $375. So our answer is A. Let's move on to 18. Mr. Abel and Mrs. Blue purchased goods on credit valued at $50 and $75 respectively from Mr. Kane. Another customer paid cash for goods amounting to $550. Mr. Kane took goods at cost for himself amounting to $500. Which of the following figures represents the total in Mr. Kane's sales account? A, $125. B, $425. C, $675. D, $1,175. So we know $50 plus $75 plus $550, we get $675. So that's the total in Mr. Kane's sales account, right? So that is how we got our figure. C would be our answer. Let's move on to number 19. It says, which of the following accounts are nominal? A, wages and rent. B, stock and debtors. C, machinery and plant. D, creditors and fixtures. So we know nominal accounts are accounts in which expenses, revenues, and capital are recorded. So we know from that explanation our answer would be A, wages and rent. They are all expenses. Let's move on to number 20. Because as we know, stock and debtor, that would be current assets. Machinery and plant, that is fixed assets. And creditors, as we know, that's a current liability, and fixtures, that's a fixed asset. So that could not be our answer options. Let's go on to 20. When a proprietor withdraws cash or other assets from a business, what effect does it have on drawings or capital? A, capital is increased. B, capital is decreased. C, drawings are decreased. D, neither drawings nor capital is affected. We know it is B, capital is decreased. Let's move on to 21. A standing order of $25 for insurance appears in the debit column of the bank statement. This amount does not appear in the cash book. How is this item treated in order to update the cash book? A, credit the bank account with $25. B, debit the bank account with $25. C, add $25 to the bank statement balance. D, subtract $25 from the bank statement balance. We know it is A. You're going to have to credit the bank account with $25. Let's move on to 22. The trial balance is prepared by using balances from the A, ledger, B, journal, C, sales book, D, purchases book. We know it is A. Trial balance is prepared by using the balances from the ledger. Let's go on to 23. Item 23 refers to the following information. A calculation to determine gross profit percentage is as follows. 185,530 divided by 529,800 multiplied by 100 over 1 equal 35.02%. What does the $529,800 represent? A, total purchases. B, cost of sales. C, total sales. D, gross profit. We know it is C. It represents total sales. So this figure represents total sales. Let's move on to 24. Mrs. Smith does not keep proper records. She began her business with $10,000 in its bank account. She uses her vehicle and building worth $6,000 and $15,000 respectively as part of her business. Customers owe her $4,000. She withdrew $1,500 for personal use and owed creditors $2,000. What is the closing capital of the business? A, 25,500. B, 28,500. C, 31,500. Or D, $33,000. So we know now, so our fixed assets, vehicle, it is $6,000. Building, as we see here, worth $15,000. So our total fixed assets, when we add 15,000 and 6,000, we get 21,000. Now the current assets, if we notice, it says here that customers owe her, so they are debtors to Mrs. Smith. So our current assets would be $4,000 debtors. Now we're going to have to list current liabilities. What's our current liabilities? Creditors. Creditors owe her. How much? $2,000. So $2,000, when we less our current liabilities from our current asset debtors of $4,000, we get $2,000. And when we add our $2,000 to our fixed assets, which is $21,000, we get $23,000. Okay, so that is our working capital. Now, let's look now. We're going to have to less what is the amount that she put in the business, $10,000. So that's her capital, $10,000. Now it says she withdrew $1,500. So we're gonna have to less drawings from our capital. So $1,500 from $10,000, we get $8,500. So when we deduct $8,500 from our working capital of $23,000, sorry, I said deduct, but we add, sorry, when we add our $8,500 to $23,000, we get $31,500. So we have C would be our answer. Let's move on to 25. The working capital of A. Young and Sons is $15,500. The total amount of current assets is $16,500. What is the total amount of current liabilities? A. $1,000. B. $15,500. C. $16,500. D. $32,000. So what we know, our working capital is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. So for us to know the total amount of current liabilities, now what we would have to do is we are going to have to deduct working capital from current assets. So we turn it around, current assets minus working capital. So what's our current assets? We have $16,500 and our working capital is $15,500. So when we deduct $15,500 from $16,500, we're left with $1,000. So that would be our current liabilities amount. A would be our answer. Let's move on to 26. Items 26 to 27 refer to the following table, which shows the trader's operation at the end of the trading period. Sales, 83,868. Sales returns, 1,570. Discounts allowed, 911. Inventory at start, 9,850. Inventory at close, 11,075. Purchases, $52,640. Purchases returns, $762. 26 says, what is the cost of goods sold? A, $49,742. B, $50,653. C, $51,415. Or D, $53,103. So what is our trading profit and loss account now? Let's look at it. So our sales is $83,868. We're going to less sales return, which is 1,570 from that. So on our sales return is the same as our return inwards. So when we deduct 1,570 from 83,868, we get 82,298. Now we're going to less cost of goods sold. Now we have our opening stock, inventory at start 9,850. Then we're going to add purchases, which is 52,640. So when we add 52,640 to 9,850, we get 62,490. Then we're going to less our purchase returns, or less, it is the same as return inwards, which is 762. So 762 from 62,490, we're left with $61,728. Now we're going to less closing stock. What's our closing stock? $11,075. So when we deduct that, we get $50,653. So that's our cost of goods sold. Now so our cost of goods sold is $50,653. So B would be our answer. Let's go on to 27. What is the gross profit? A, 31,645. B, 33,215. C, $34,023, or D, $80,025. So our cost of goods sold was $50,653. Now let's deduct our expenses. Let's deduct our expenses. So after we get our cost of goods sold, we deduct that from our sales that we have got $82,298. So we get $31,645. So deduct 50,653 from 82,298 from our sales figure, we get 31,645. So A would be our answer. Let's move on to 28. When a trial balance fails to agree, the difference is entered into A, control account, B, reserve account, C, provision account, D, suspense account. So what is our answer? We know it is entered into the control account. Sorry, I said control account? No, suspense account. An error there. Suspense account. Right. Because we know the control account is an account which checks the arithmetical accuracy of the subsidiary ledger. So it couldn't be that. The reserve account now we know is what is being transferred. The transfer of apportioned profits to accounts for use in future years. So that could not be. And the provision account, as we know, that would be owed to. So the suspense account now is an account in which you can enter the amount equal to the difference in the trial balance. So that would be our answer. Let's move on to 29. Which of the following items are not recorded in the appropriation account? 1. Interest on loans from partners. 2. Interest on capital. 3. Withdrawals by partners. Is it A, 1 and 2 only? B, 1 and 3 only? C, 2 and 3 only? Or D, 1, 2, and 3? So we know that would be 1. Interest on loans from partners, yes. Interest on capital, no. That's not in the appropriation account. Withdrawals by partners, yes. So our answer would be 1 and 3 only. So our answer would be B. Let's go on to 30. Which of the following accounts shows how profits and losses are shared among partners? A, current. B, appropriation. C, profit and loss. D, income and expenditure. So what would be our answer here? So we know it would be the appropriation. B. Let's move on to 31. During the year, a company bought stationery for $220 and used $120 worth of it. What is the expenditure for stationery that would be posted to the profit and loss account? A, $340, B, $220, C, $120, or D, $100. We know it would be C, $120 that was used, worth of what was used. 32. A motor van was credited from AG Motors for use in a business. How should this be recorded? A, debit motor vehicle account, credit bank account. B, debit motor van expense account, credit bank account. C, debit purchases account, credit AG Motors account. D, debit motor vehicle account and credit AG Motors account. So we know that it would be D, debit motor vehicle account and credit AG Motors account. So anytime money is owed to AG Motors, and until they get the payment or until the payment is made, so the entry would always be made to the supplier, which is the creditor, that would be credited. So we know that it would credit AG Motors account and debit motor vehicle account. So D. Let's go on to 33. 33 says, which of the following are a long-term liability? A, creditors. B, debentures. C, accrued wages. D, bank overdrafts. We know it is B. Debenture is a long-term loan, is a loan really that is to be repaid, loan to a company. So we know that would be the long-term liability. Let's move on to 34. Cash sales were not entered in any books of accounts. This is an error of A, omission, B, principle, C, commission, D, complete reversal. The answer is an error of omission. It was not entered. It was omitted. 35. Which of the following are benefits of using accounting software? 1. Integrated analysis of information. 2. Almost immediate updating of records. 3. Programmable to recognize irregular entries. Is it A, 1 and 2 only? B, 1 and 3 only? C, 2 and 3 only? Or D, 1, 2, and 3? Our answer is all of them. 1, 2, and 3. Let's go on to 36. The total credit of the bank column of a 3-column cash book is greater than the total debit. The most likely reason for this situation is that A, there was an overdraft. B, transactions were omitted from the debit side. C, some figures were overstated on the credit side. Or D, incorrect transactions were entered on the credit side. We know it is A, there was an overdraft. Let's go on to 37. Item 37 refers to the following information. Inventory at the 1st of January 2018, $1,500. Purchases during the month, $1,200. Cost of goods sold, $1,400. What is the inventory at the end of January? A, $300. B, $500. C, $700. Or D, $1,300. We know the opening stock, $1,500. Add our purchases, $1,200, $1,700, $2,700. And then you less your cost of goods sold, which is $1,400. So $1,400 from $2,700, we're left with $1,300. This is another repeat question. 38 says, Andina Williams is a petty cashier. If she has a float of $200 and she spends $180, how much should she be reimbursed at the end of the period? A, $20. B, $180. C, $200. D, $380. So we know it would be the $180 that she spends. B. Let's move on to 39. Which of the following is a book of prime entry? A, invoice. B, balance sheet. C, sales ledger. D, sales journal. We know that is sales journal. D would be our answer. Let's move on to 40. A non-trading organization is mainly concerned with A, importing goods for resale. B, trading only with wholesalers. C, providing various services for its members. Or D, making maximum profit for the proprietor. Well, as we know, a non-trading organization, they are not trading, they don't buy and sell to make a profit. They really offer us services. So we know D, A, B would be out and D. So our answer would be C, providing various services for its members. Let's move on to 41. 41. Here it says, a sole trader uses his trading account to determine A, super profit, B, gross profit, C, net profit, D, surplus. We know that is B, gross profit. He uses a trading account to determine the gross profit. 42 says, Item 42 refers to the following information provided by K and Friends. Bank balance at the 1st of August 2017, $700. Purchase of refreshments, $500. Purchase of furniture, $500. Proceeds from raffle, $1,500. Stock at the 31st of July 2018, $2,000. Donations to charity, $200. Depreciation of furniture, $50. Sales of equipment, $50. The question says, what is the bank balance on the receipts and payments accounts of K and Friends for the year ended 31st of July 2018? So you should get, your answer should be $1,600. Let's move on to 43. Which of the following states the correct order of the stages in the accounting cycle before final accounts? A. Posting to ledger, journalizing, then trial balance, then posting to ledger, then the trial balance, then journalizing. C. Journalizing, then trial balance, then posting to ledger. Or D. Journalizing, then posting to ledger, then to trial balance. So what would be the order of stages? Well, we know that it would be first journalizing, then posting to ledgers, then to the trial balance. So our answer would be D. Let's move on to 44. Mr. Green and Mrs. Brown agreed to establish a partnership and each deposited $5,000 into a bank account. Green and Brown Company. How should this be recorded in the books of the partnership? A. Credit cash $10,000. Debit capital $10,000. B. Debit Green and Brown Company $10,000. Credit bank $10,000 each. C. Debit partnership account, bank account $10,000. Credit partners current accounts $5,000 each. D. Debit partnership bank account $10,000. Credit partners capital accounts $5,000 each. So what do we do here? So we know that they're both entered into a partnership account. So we're going to have to debit the partnership bank account, which is $10,000, and then credit each partner's capital accounts of $5,000. So D would be our answer. Let's go on to 45. Item 45 refers to the following summary of receipts and payments for a club at the 1st of March. Subscription received $300. Rent paid $60. Purchase of games and equipment $150. Postage of circulars $20. Proceeds from book sale $250. What is the cash balance at 31st of March? Is it A, $108, B, $280, C, $320, or D, $620? So on our receipt section, we have subscription receipts, so that's $300. Receipts from books and sale or receipt from books of postage of circular $250. Proceeds from books and sale. And then on our payments, we made rent paid $60. Then we have purchase of games and equipment $150. And we have postage of circulars $20. So on the receipt side, 300 plus 250, we got $550. All right, so on our payment side, 60 plus 150 plus 20, that is 210, and 210 from 250, we're left with 320. So that would be our cash balance. So our answer would be C. Let's move on to 46. It says here, S&B Limited net income for the year was $89,000. Of this amount, $8,000 was transferred to the general reserve. Preference dividend paid was $2,400, and ordinary dividend proposed was $6,500. The value of the retained profits for the year was A, $72,100, B, $80,100, C, $81,000, or D, $89,000. Well, so $89,000 was the net income, and 8,000 was transferred to the general reserve. So 8,000 plus dividend, preference dividend 2,400, plus dividend proposed 6,500. So we add 8,000 plus 2,400 plus 6,500, we get 16,900, and we deduct that from the net income of 89,000. We're left with $72,100. A. Let's move on to 48. A mechanic starts his business with $10,000 worth of tools. What entry should he make to record this transaction? A. Debit bank account, credit capital account. B. Debit capital account, credit bank account. C. Credit debit tools account, credit capital account. D. Debit capital account, credit tools account. So we know we are going to have to debit the tools account and credit capital account. C would be our answer. 48. When writing up the books of a partnership, which account must each partner have? A. Bank. B. Current. C. Savings. D. Fixed deposit. We know each must have a current account. So let's move on to 49. An asset purchased for $1,000 depreciates at a rate of $10 as per annum using the 10% as per annum using the reducing balance method. What is the book value of the asset at the beginning of the third year? A. $800. B. $810. C. $900. D. $1,190. So it says reducing balance method. So we know the reducing balance method is a fixed percentage that is deducted from the cost of the first year. And in the second year or other years that follows, the same percentage is taken of the reduced balance. So we're going to have to find 10% of $1,000. That is $100 we get. Then we have to deduct $100 from $1,000. We get $900. So that's the first year. The second year, we are going to have to find 10% of $900. So 10% of $900 is 90, and we take away 90 from $300, we get $810 for the third year. So our answer would be B. Let's move on to 50. Which of the following accounts are usually transferred to the trading and profit and loss account? A. Rent, premises, drawings. B. Drawings, rent, and purchases. C. Commission received, rent, then purchases. D. Purchases, furniture, commission received. So we know it would be D. C. Commission received, rent, and purchases. So our answer would be C. Let's move on to 51. An example of a capital expenditure is money spent for A. Paying rent, B. Paying wages, C. Purchasing goods, D. Purchasing a new building. So we know capital expenditure is when a business, they spend money to buy or add value to a fixed asset. So what that would be? That would be purchasing a new building. That would be a capital expenditure. 52 now. Amalgamated Components was a private company until it admitted additional shareholders by selling shares on the stock exchange. Amalgamated Components can now be described as A. Partnership, B. Statutory corporation, C. Public limited company, D. Private limited company. We know it is C. It is a public limited company. 53 now. Item 53 refers to the following. So here we have a manufacturing account. Debit, the manufacturing account, J. Baines, manufacturing account for period ending 31st of December 2018. On our debit side, we have inventory of raw materials, 1st of January 2018, $1,800. Purchase of raw materials during the year, $4,500. And we have in total $5,300. Less closing inventory of raw materials, at December 31st of December 2018, $1,200. Production wages, $1,200. Fuel and power, $800. Lubricants, $100. Rent and rates, $400. Lubricants, $400. Rent and rates, no, lubricants, $100, sorry. Rent and rates, $400. And insurance, $200. We have a total of $6,800. Okay, What is the cost of raw materials available for production? A, $800, B, $4,100, C, $4,500, or D, $5,300. We know right here would be our cost of raw materials. So 5,300. Let's go on to 54. In which account should depreciation of office machines be transferred? A, trading, B, manufacturing, C, profit and loss, D, appropriation. We know it is C, profit and loss. 55 says, the reward of profit received by a shareholder in a limited company is called A, interest, B, drawings, C, dividend, C, commission. We know it is called dividend, C. 56 says, which of the following may be used to calculate the cost of production? A, prime cost plus factory overheads deduct, prime cost, then factory overheads deduct opening work in progress plus closing work in progress. B, prime cost deduct factory overheads deduct opening work in progress plus closing work in progress. C, prime cost plus factory overheads deduct opening work in progress, deduct closing work in progress. D, prime cost plus factory overheads plus opening work in products, deduct closing work in progress. We know it is D. It is calculated, the cost of production is calculated, prime cost plus factory overheads plus opening work in progress, deduct closing work in progress. Let's go to 57. 57. It says, Fisk company's accountant has not recorded rent owing for the period. Fisk accountant has violated the concept or rule of A, accrual, B, prudence, C, consistency, D, separate entity. We know it is A, accrual. Rent owing, accrual. 58. The purchase of equipment on credit will affect a firm's balance sheet by A, increasing assets and increasing liabilities, B, decreasing assets and increasing liabilities, C, increasing assets and decreasing liabilities, or D, decreasing assets and decreasing liabilities. So we know it is A, purchase of equipment, increasing the assets and increasing liabilities, A. 59 says, which of the following is not considered a source document for the payroll? A, electronic time card, B, medical certificate, C, attendance register, D, clock card. The answer is B, medical certificate. All the others are considered documents of the payroll. 60, final question says, Mr. Amos is employed by a construction company at a rate of $7 per hour. During the week of 6th of April 2018, he worked his basic week of 40 hours. The income tax due on his pay is $20 and he is also liable to pay Social Security contributions of 5% of his gross pay. What is Mr. Amos' net pay? A, $246, B, $260, C, $266, or D, $280. We did this question already, but we're going to have to multiply the rate, $7 times 40. We're going to get $280. Then his income tax, as we see here, is $20 and 5% of gross pay. So 5% of $280 is $14. So his total income tax deductions would be $20 plus $14, which is $34. And we deduct that from his gross salary of $280. So we're left with $246. A would be our answer. So this is it. We have come to the end of the CSEC Principles of Accounts, May, June 2019, past paper 1. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and to give this video a thumbs up. That helps with the video to show your appreciation for it. Until then, we'll see you in the next.